I made a big mistake this offseason. I drafted way too many dynasty startup teams, and I could not keep up with them throughout the season. Now, when I originally proposed the idea of doing dynasty startups with the community, I thought I'd maybe fill one, I'd maybe fill two. And the growth that I saw during this period when we were doing startups was immense. So that is a lot of the reason for this mistake. I thought I'd fill one, two, three leagues. We filled nine. And we were doing a lot of these startup drafts at the same time. So at any point, I was in three startup drafts and I couldn't keep up with the trading like I normally should. So I've got some bad teams. A lot of that is on me as a fantasy manager. This isn't just that I was overdone. So I've got some teams that are going to need a rebuild and we're heading into the off season. So let's talk about what I'm going to do to prep this team to rebuild. I'll bring this specific team for the series up on screen. This is our team. It's in League Boom Bust 2. At this point, like Boom Bust 1 is on pace to make the playoffs. My team in Boom Bust 3 is on pace to make the playoffs. I was drafting these three leagues at the same time. Boom Bust 2 did not do too well. Right now in the league, we are 4 and about to be 4-9. This says 4-8. We're very close to 4-9. And the way our seeding works for draft picks, it's maximum points for. So reverse max points for. So my team is going to be a top 5 pick. I don't worry too much about that. We could talk more about that when we get to draft season. I don't know how good we are at predicting which pick is the best one or which player is best. So I don't worry too much about that in season, and I don't try to tank that hard. This year, I probably could have sold players a little bit sooner on, though. So we're not on pace to make the playoffs. This team does need some retooling. Let's talk about where we can make this team better and how I evaluate teams in the offseason. So I've got my starting lineup on screen. This is a 12-team start 10 super flex with full point per reception and a half point tight end premium. There's nothing else complicated on top of that. We don't have any point per carry. This should be kind of the baseline dynasty league. When I start dynasty leagues, this is what I try to do. All ones that we cover going forward are 12 by 10. And if I don't ever specifically mention a scoring, it's because it's a 12 by 10 in a dynasty league. So I've got a lot of good young players on this team, but it did not work out. For example, like Jackson Dart, he wasn't starting at the beginning of the year. The quarterback that I was starting was Cam Ward, and he was bad all year. So let's go through position by position, try to find some of the strengths here. And then once we've got that, we're going to look at how many starters do we have? We need 10. Do I have anything close to 10? And then where can I start to pull more starters from? So quarterbacks, Jackson Dart, Trevor Lawrence, Cam Ward, on a scale of 1 to 5, that's like a 2, a 1. It's not very good. Running backs, we have Judkins, Woody Marks, and not a lot else. So that's going to be about a 1 or a 2 as well. Judkins is a good young piece. I think his value goes up in the offseason with changes made to the Browns. They have a lot of draft capital that will help this offense, which will in turn help him. So I really like him going forward, but right now he's not that great. And then Woody Marks, I don't know what his future role for the Texans is. So if I can get rid of him, I probably will. Wide receivers, we have Justin Jefferson, Tet McMillan, Antonio Pierce, Wan'Dale Robinson. Down here, we have Ricky Pearsall. And then on IR, we have Travis Hunter. I'm going to call that like a good 3 or 4. I really like Tet McMillan as a young option. I still really like Justin Jefferson. It has not worked for him this year, but I expect that the Vikings fix their quarterback situation for next year, and he'll be really solid. We're good at wide receiver. We could get more depth. We're not amazing at wide receiver, but it's probably one of our stronger spots. And then tight end, where we have a tight end premium. Brock Bowers has not worked out the way that we wanted this year, but he's still really solid. He had a great game on Sunday. I'm recording this Monday, December 1st. He had a great game. And since coming back from injury, he has looked really good, but he missed a lot of time. And this offense really sputtered. Again, I think this is an offense that is really only going to have positive news in the offseason. So I don't worry about his value going forward. And then I've got some older pieces here, some stragglers, Alec Pierce, Wan'Dale Robinson, Mark Andrews, other tight ends. TJ Hawkinson is a player I liked a lot in the offseason, and that did not work. We've got young Mason Taylor, who probably similarly to what I was saying with Quinshon Judkins And Brock Bowers only has positive news coming in the offseason. So he's a good value riser. But if I'm counting out 10 starters for this team, I've got quarterbacks. I have Dart and Lawrence, and that can be enough. So we've got two. We have Cam Ward, who will probably also get better. So we're good there. Judkins, I'll say, is a third starter. Jefferson, Tet, Hunter, Bowers. That gets us to 7. We'll have an early first round pick to get us at 8. I've got Ricky Pearsall on the bench. I assume he'll be startable next year. That's going to have us at 9. So, and possibly Hawkinson in the flex. We're at about 9 that we feel comfortable with. We're going to start looking to move some players this offseason to pull out more starters. I can't really pull that many more from Jackson Dart, but if I can roll him into 226 firsts, I might do something like that. We need to fill out more, like a starting lineup and more depth for next year. I don't really have any veteran depth here, and I don't have a lot of tradability to get to that point. So what we're going to do heading into the offseason, this league does not have its trade deadline until the playoffs start. So we've got one more week. We'll be back after making some trades. We're going to try to ship away players like Alec Pierce, Wandale Robinson, Mark Andrews. We'll look to ship away TJ Hawkinson, possibly. We'll look to ship away Mason Taylor, possibly. What we haven't said on this video is these are our young cornerstone assets and we can't move them because we need to be open to moving everyone. There's not a lot of players that want to trade for Mark Andrews. So if I need to pair him with Tet to get full value, I'm open to doing that. It's got to be a good price that we're getting, but I'm not holding on to anyone. I want to stay open to all options. Really, the concept there is if someone loves Tet McMillan and they love him more than me, okay, well, he'll go play on their team and I'll get the parts from them. The other young players, the picks on top of that. We're not selling these guys for nothing. We're open to selling them at full price or above, or at full price and then full price for someone like Brashard Smith, who did not become anything this year. There was a period where we thought he might become something. Here's a week where he went into an increased workload and then kind of disappeared. If anyone is willing to give us a second or third round pick, I'm open to doing that. All right, so we'll be back in a couple days with the results of some of these trades that we send out, and we'll see where we can get this team and how we can get them ready for the offseason. We'll be making videos on this team all offseason, going into the rookie draft, going into the start of next year, and then we'll check in after next season to see if we've turned it around. Because we're at 4-9 right now, possibly about to be 4-10 as our final record. And I think we can get this team into the playoffs next year. All righty. Thank you very much. And we will see you in the next one.